equals, boom. All right, Logan, I'm not specifying any particular type of variable each time I assign these different numbers in here. Okay? Some people out there that may be familiar with other programming languages are used to having to go in there and actually declare the variable by specifying it's going to hold this type of data.
Yes, I'm used to that.
Okay, tell me about this. Is this right here going to work just fine?
Yes, it would.
So tell me about it. How does it know the difference between 5 and the buzz and 55.63 being all these different types we're talking about?
Generally what it does is it really doesn't matter what you put into a variable when you're first creating it. It really doesn't care. It really depends on what's in the variable when you start working with it. If you're just echoing out to the browser, that also doesn't matter. It'll echo a string or a number just the same. Once you start doing mathematical operations on stuff, that's when it depends whether or not it's like an integer or a float, because you can add two integers, but you can't really add two strings. Like you can put them end to end, but that's concatenating.
Okay.
What PHP usually does is it tries to get the integer value of a variable. So if you assign it like if it had numbers in it and those numbers could be used in a mathematical operation, it would use it as an integer or a float or whatever it was holding. If it had just letters, it wouldn't apply. It wouldn't be able to add it.
Okay. But it would give you a number back, wouldn't it?
Probably. It would probably give you 0.
It does. Very good. Gives you 0. Did you guys follow him?
Oh, yeah.
In other words, PHP is real loose. It's like easy. It's like, throw it at me, I'll figure out what you want and do something.
Oh, is it that it's loose or that it's smart?
I would just call it loose.
Okay.
It's pretty smart. It figures out what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, but compared to some languages, people would definitely call this loose, where other languages have very strict rules that need to be followed when you're dealing with variables. Okay? So now I've got today's date being stored in $today's date. Now I can just come back down here where I was echoing out this actual function before, and I can now replace it with $today's date. And what's this going to do, Logan? Is it going to actually print out $today's date when it goes to echo all of this stuff out to your browser?
No. First, it's not in quotes. It's just a value. That variable is referencing back to, it's going to put whatever was in that variable.
Okay.
It's not going to echo it out literally.
Very good. So basically, when the parser goes through here and handles each line one by one, it gets down to this one. It sees this as saying, whoa, this is a variable. Okay. What data is being stored in this variable? And the area that's highlighted right now just simply gets replaced with what's inside that data, right?
Right.
What's inside that variable.
And if that was in quotes, would that print out?
Okay. One technical thing. If you use double quotes, it will print the value of the variable. If you use single quotes, it'll literally print out like $my variable.
Okay, that's
the way it works.
Okay. And for those of you out there sitting out there going, double, single, huh? We're going to get all into that in the second VTM. Again, we're trying to keep this variables. People are going to hear funk. And then they won't hear Kristen no more. That just means she's no longer with us. She had to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
So you can see right here how I can actually print or echo information back out. I can do the same up here. Let's say I want to. Let's do $first name equals Kristen, and let's go ahead and do last name equals,
Don't give him my last name.
I'm not going to give him your last name. I was going to give him Poop, but I decided we shouldn't do that either.
Kristen Poop.
Poop. So now that we have these two things right here where I'm echoing out her name, okay, maybe I want to come in here and I want to echo out whatever was given to me in first name and in last name. Later on when we start actually getting into working with the database and PHP integration, okay, where PHP is talking to your database and pulling information out, it's very likely that you're going to end up having fields that are going to hold information such as a first name and another field that's going to hold information as a last name. And don't worry, we're going to talk about fields a little bit later on in this exact VTM here when we start talking about putting things together in a database. But anyways, it's okay, Adam, just hang in there. All right. So there'll be times that you're going to need to pull this information out and put the two together so that So, just for the stop it with the lizard. You're
Sorry.
freaking me out. So, anyways, there's going to be
Yeah.
there's going to be times that you're going to need to put this information together in such a way that it's going to show back to a viewer the way you want it to be seen. In other words, first name, last name. So let's go ahead and do that here, where I'm just going to come in here and say echo dollar first name. Now, I want to concatenate to the end of this dot dollar last name. And some of you guys may already see what the problem with this is going to be.
I do.
I will show it, and then we'll fix it. Dot. And now let's go ahead and tie in a BR to it. Okay? So when I actually run this now, Adam,
Yes.
what's it going to see? What's the browser going to get echoed out? What's going to get echoed out right here?
Well, it's going to first see first name, so it's going to go up and see Kristen.
Okay.
So put that out. Then it's going to try to concatenate poop onto the end of it.
Okay.
I guess it's going to say Kristen poop.
Oh, yeah.
As one word.
Like one word. Absolutely.
Yep.
And so that's going to look kind of funny. But then it's going to do a line break?
Yeah.
And go down.
Okay. So right now we're looking for Kristen poop, line break. And then
That just sounds cool.
I know you. Never mind. And then it's going to see. Do you know the date was? We have no BR right here, so getting echoed right after the space, we're going to get today's date, or at least whatever is currently being stored in this variable right here. Let's go ahead and save this real quick and execute this. So I'll go ahead and minimize that, and we'll pull it back up, and let's just refresh it now. And there you go. Hi there, Kristen Poop. All one word. It is now down to a new line. Did you know that the date was? And this is still printing out properly. Where we're using a variable now to hold this highlighted information. It still prints out fine when we echo it back to our browser.
Cool.
Okay? So now to fix this little Kristen Poop problem, what do we need to do?
Well, you could go back to the script.
All right, so we'll hop back here into the script. Here's our magical line.
Well, you could, I don't know. Since I'm kind of lazy, I go up to where it says last name.
But let's pretend this is what's being fed back to us from some other place. So we have to just deal with whatever's in here.
Could you just throw in like a space?
Yes.
Maybe like.
So go ahead, like what?
The quotations.
So I could do concatenate space, quotes, and then just keep on concatenating like that. So it's got first name, add to the end of first name, a simple space, add to the end of that space, whatever's in the last name, add to that a line return.
Okay, cool.
Does that work for you?
Oh, yeah.
Think that'll do it? So I can go ahead, let's save it out, and we'll go ahead and come back into here and refresh it. And now we have Kristen Poop with a space in her name. So now we actually can see her true first name and last name. Yeah, for those of you guys out there wondering, that really is her last name.
Yeah.
Yes.
But don't try to look her up because she's unlisted.
I'm Mrs. Poop.
So anyways, you see how we're concatenating stuff. Now let's go ahead and pull our script back up. We can also add things together, right? Mathematical operations. Right. So let's go ahead and just come back in here and let's echo out. Let's come over here and echo out